Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Atelier Ryza, episode 6. Episode 6, the one I've been waiting for to watch, because in this episode they will start creating their hideout on the mainland. And as I said in episode 5, I'm a huge fan of base building. I'm a huge fan of territory cultivation, kind of isekai manga that are so popular nowadays. So having them actually create a hideout on the mainland, no less, this will be a treat. This will be my real cool, fun, personal treat to see that. Yeah, anything else? I don't think so. I mean, the previous episode was just, a little adventuring. The main part of that episode was fan service on the beach and finding again this little place that they can call a home away from home now. And also the electric or thunder or whatever it's called, Ryza found it, and something tells me it might be irrelevant somehow, because Empel seemed fairly... Oh, fuck, why do I have this view on? Sorry for that, there shouldn't be any timer right now. Empel seemed very surprised with the thunder ore being there. So maybe there's a mine of thunder ore or something like that that they could make use of. Perhaps a new weapon for Lent or for Tao. I don't know. But it certainly doesn't seem inconsequential, and especially now that they will have their base there. Maybe they will use that thunder ore to power some appliances at their base. I don't know. I don't know the limits of alchemy. Could Ryza potentially alchemize an electric stove? I don't know. Maybe she could, maybe she couldn't. Who's to say? I mean, people who play the game are to say, probably. But I certainly don't know that. We'll see. We'll see, of course. What do I expect from today's episodes? Again, there isn't really any progression in the timeline, right? There isn't any story they progress through. So this episode will probably be base building and maybe some side stories, some sideline about, I don't know, Lent and his father or something like that. Maybe Boss is gonna try to boss around again. Maybe Ryza's mother is gonna try to stop her from going to their base. I don't know. Something might happen, but the main point will certainly be the base building. I think that's about it. Really short about housekeeping. All of yesterday, well, not all of yesterday, but a good chunk of yesterday I spent recording Madoka Magica Rebellion, the movie, and editing a little trailer teaser announcement kind of thing. It's up on the channel, and the movie of Madoka Magica is, of course, up on my Patreon if you want to watch it. It will be available on YouTube on the 21st, but before that, it's up for my Patreons. And yeah, and I will be away for the weekend, so the frequency of videos might drop a little, or I might manage to record some in advance. We'll see about that. Okay, regardless of all of that, I think we can just start watching Atelier Ryza episode 6. But to do that, of course, you will need your subs. Now this view should be in. To follow along with me, I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on, and I'm gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel monetarily on Patreon, linked down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching Atelier Ryza episode 6 in 3, 2, 1, go. The house already stands. You don't need to like design a new house. The house is already there. You just need to clean it up and fix it up a little. But okay, she gets excited. I can see that. I can understand that. Yeah, I genuinely don't see any like main story in the opening, right? Like usually something like that would be in the opening. Either the big bad villain of the show would be shown there, or an army of monsters attacking the village, or something of the sort. So it's probably just going to be, adventure of the week, with maybe the finale being finding another source of water for the village. Of course not. Don't tell me you can alchemize a house. Okay, I can see that. Are you saying right now that Ryza can, like, legit alchemize a house? I'm afraid Empel was just speaking in, like, uh, not even a hypothesis, but just saying, hey, you should, you know, think about the building parts of the house. You can't just think about the house as a whole. It's like alchemy. And what Ryza took from it is, oh, let me fucking alchemize a house. Of course. That's a hodgepodge. Oh, it's not an aerial view? Because you can't draw for shit. I'm sorry, Ryza. Okay, Tao knows some technical drawing at least. Yep, there we go. Hexagonal rooms, interesting. Yeah, Tao deserves the praise. Okay, what's gonna happen with that old house? Are you just going to level it? Also, is she legit just going to alchemize the whole ass house? Okay, so I guess the existing house already had like a hexagonal floor plan to it. As long as it's not another bloated bomb. Sure. Okay, so it seems like she's gonna be alchemizing the individual building materials. Bricks, planks. I mean, Tao would just fill it with books. Lent would just have a training dummy or something. Ryza would at least be able to pick some, I know, nice smelling flowers for the table. There we go. Scrap wood. Can you fix the planks with alchemy? Probably. We're building a hideout! They seem more like teens to me, but sure. Could your father perhaps start selling my cheese? Okay, sure. Claudia's role in the group is going to be their bank. How are you planning to get it off the island, I wonder? Your boats aren't like particularly big. It's just milk, egg yolks, and cornstarch, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, not even cornstarch, just eggs and milk. We don't have any cows. I mean, you could try it with goat milk. Wouldn't hurt. It might stink a little, but sure. The flavor is the difference. She's the great alchemist after all. Okay, they're exactly the same. And Claudia wants to be a part of your team. She wants to help as well. She's not really helping you in battle. So she can at least help you as a quote unquote civilian. Can't you, like, throw an egg and some milk into a cauldron and just alchemize that pudding? Oh, maybe try using local sugar. Okay, cane sugar instead of beet sugar seems to have done the trick. Can you alchemize it? Of course she can. Of course she's gonna alchemize sugar by using a brown rock and a honeycomb. This is a quest in the game, isn't it? This is a quest in the game. Get Claudia some Ed sugar. Okay, they somehow managed to get the materials here. Bricks, mortar. And don't destroy that flower. Because if you do, then the entire fucking hideout just goes to nothing. Because suddenly monsters can find their way here. I wonder, is it really? Claudia? What are you doing on the island? Who brought you here? You keep saying how you can't join them on their adventures, and yet here you are. Okay. And thus ends the pudding arc. Of course. They're besties. Even the goat lady ships them. Books, decorations, herbs, cauldron. Now, the obvious con of this solution is, of course, that if Ryza wants to alchemize something, she has to sneak out of her house first. She can't just, alchemize random stuff in her room. She needs to go to the mainland. Unless she plans to live here, which I guess is a possibility. Ryza no Atelier. Name drop, title drop. Oh, a plot point, tower that we need to conquer. Yeah, I wonder why. I still wonder why it's a secret from her father. He doesn't seem like particularly overbearing. Oh, you invited them? Probably not. Monsters? Boss? Does the flower only work during daytime? Yeah, I mean, legit, you should probably wait for her. No, you don't. Just bar the door and stay indoors. Makes sense. Is it a case of the plot thickening? Or is it just a random event? He's not wrong. It's getting dark. You're gonna get lost. And it's a monster. It's a crystal dragon of some sort. That's what you get for being nosy. It's a crystal beetle thing. It got back into standby mode. Its eyes went from red back to yellow. Yes. Yes, fucking book it. So there's some big bad monster after all. Them. Okay, that's ominous. Okay, what are they though? I think we have our plot. Oh. Okay, what are those things that they are supposedly this dangerous? Why? You're being secretive for no reason. Okay, that makes sense. You're not doing that just for self satisfaction, self gratitude, but for others. Alchemical gem? That's a useful game mechanic. So wait, if you alchemize something once, then you can just use the core gem to like refill it? Is that it? You use a jar of healing ointment, you just blast it with the gem and it's full again? If so, then it's similar to how alchemy worked in The Witcher 3. Okay, that was a fairly nothing episode. I'm gonna be honest. But at least it seems like we got some, maybe not a fully overarching story, but we got at least some multi-part story. Perhaps the issue of those monsters will be resolved within the next 2 episodes. Maybe it will be resolved within the season. I'm not sure. But I'm glad that we have at least, something that connects this episode to the future one. And there. Claudia's courage. Okay. Is Claudia actually going to help them with her bow? Possibly. Or in some other ways. After all, courage in battle is not the only form of courage, right? Okay. So, how about we watch it again? And see that maybe I missed something that is actually somehow significant, like those plentiful thigh shots that are scattered all throughout this episode. Have you even started envisioning the structure of this house? I really thought that Empel is just making a comparison here, right? He compares a building to an alchemical thing, right? To alchemize something, you need to know what it does, how it does it, how it works, what it consists of. You need to know the details about the ingredients, etc., etc., etc. And it's the same with buildings, right? You need to know the properties of stone bricks, versus the properties of clay bricks. You need to know the properties of different types of wood to know what to use, right? To not make birch rafters because they will break and you should use spruce instead, etc., etc. I thought that he's just making this sort of a comparison. He's trying to explain architecture with alchemical terms to Ryza, and I thought that Ryza is just going to take it as I can alchemize a building, and she's legit going to alchemize a building. She's gonna throw some bricks and wood and stuff into her cauldron, and a whole ass building is gonna pop out. I honestly thought that's gonna be the case, and Empel will be incredibly surprised, flabbergasted, and dumbfounded. How the fuck did you do that, Ryza? You know, I really thought we're going in that direction to showcase just how powerful and skilled, maybe not skilled, but talented Ryza is. But no. You know, she understood perfectly what he was talking about. It's none of my business what you learn from me speaking to myself. Of course. Of course. You're just playing, you know, not hard to get. Not the proper term to use here. But you're just playing this kind of a cold and collected character. I was just thinking how adorable you alchemists can be. Yeah. Place for books, place for training, place for chit-chat and snacks, etc., etc. And this is not the best floor plan. And the inclusion of the sun, I think it's the sun in the top left corner. I'm not sure, it might be a table. Really, you can't tell if it's a side shot or it's a top-down plan or what the fuck is it. Yeah, you have many talents, Ryza, but drawing ain't one of them. Thankfully, Tao understands everything, and I was hoping that I'm gonna be able to read what it says. Alas. Alas. And apparently it's gonna have like 3 entrances, which doesn't seem like the best idea for a secret hideout in the forest. I mean, on one hand, it might actually be a good idea because you might be able to like run using a back door, but on the other, should something attack you, regardless of the flower, you're gonna have harder time barricading 3 separate doors instead of just the front doors. Also, it's an interesting architecture, like this weird catwalk around one of the rooms. I wonder if it leads to some other room or something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play Atelier Ryza eventually, one day. A new Atelier game is coming out, I heard, and it's supposed to be a gacha. Like mainline Atelier, but it's not going to be, you know, a fully offline single player game. It's going to be a gacha with, I don't know, what are you gonna gacha for? Probably not for characters. Ateliers usually have like 1 central character, maybe 2 or 3. I mean, the player character is the 1 central character always. So I can see character gacha, ingredient gacha, recipe gacha. Well, that would suck. Yeah, that would suck. Having to gacha for new recipes. I don't know. We'll see. I only heard the news that it's gonna be a gacha. I don't know what kind. If only I could come along. Well, you did. So I'm not really sure what you're having a problem with, Claudia. Honestly, I'm not 100% certain what Claudia's problem is. She acts as if her father was like incredibly overbearing, right? As if he was the kind of a character to grumble about her wasting time with the local ruffians about her wasting time learning to play flute instead of learning how to calculate taxes. She's acting like as if her father was this kind of a character, but he doesn't seem to be. From what little we've seen on him of him, he seems pretty chill. I don't think he would have any issues with Claudia learning flute. I don't think he would have any issues with her just going with her friends, especially if the place they're going is safe. Right? Like maybe it's just maybe it's just lack of courage, which is why the next episode is titled Claudia's Courage. Maybe she's simply afraid of playing the flute. Maybe she's simply afraid of going with them. It's not that her father is the limiting factor, it's herself. If she told her father, hey, I'm going with my friend to the mainland, they're gonna build a hideout and I wanna help them, her father would be like, cool, here, grab this basket of fruits to give them so you can have something to snack on. You know, maybe that's it. Interior design. How convenient. How convenient that there are planks for you to use. Goat milk pudding. Or cow milk pudding, so far. That's not easy to get on the island. I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense for an island nation to use goats and perhaps sheep instead of cows for milk. Sheep more so, I think, because sheep's wool can be used for clothing, and their meat can be used for food, and their milk can be used for food. Meanwhile, cows only produce... No, they also produce leather. But sheep also produce leather, so... The most space-efficient animal here would be sheep. But I guess goats work really well because they eat everything, right? They don't need a pasture. You can just have them eat local bushes, thorns or not. You can have them eat moss and lichen and all sorts of things like that. A goat will just eat it. And there isn't much space on an island to have a proper pasture. It's mostly just meadows, rocky mountains and whatnot. So I guess goats actually make the most sense in that regard, at least. Yeah, it's fairly... The entire area is fairly like rocky and sandy, not particularly much grass anywhere. Still running from her mom. Milk is milk. The Mr. Incredible meme. Milk is milk. I never had goat milk or sheep's milk. Or any other kind of milk. Only ever cow's milk. I did have some goat cheese and sheep's cheese, sure, but it's not like raw milk. I always wanted to try horse milk, like mare's milk. I heard it's the most digestible kind of milk for humans. And that's actually an interesting fact. I'm not sure which, like, not nation, which ethnic group of people back in the days, or maybe it was worldwide actually, I'm not entirely sure. Could have been Mongols, could have been like worldwide. Horses, equines, were used for milk. Meanwhile, bovines were used to carry cargo. But then some shift happened, and equines started being used to carry cargo and carry people, and bovines started being used for milk and meat. In an alternate reality, right now we would be riding uh, riding cows and bulls, bred to have like to produce less milk, have smaller udders, being thinner to actually be able to ride on them and whatnot. Meanwhile, horses would be bred for maximum milk production, and they would look completely different, and we would be eating uh, horse cheese and watching cow races. It's crazy how just because we bred one species one way and the other species the other way, they like crossed and went the complete opposite paths to what they started as. And that's why I always wanted to try horse milk. I don't know. It just seems interesting to have that like first humans milk, what the first humans originally drank. Some weird ideas like that. Cow milk and goat milk. Apparently, cow milk tastes better. Probably. Cow's milk is generally neutral in taste. Goat's milk and sheep's milk have a certain smell and flavor to them. So I heard, at least. As I said, I never had either. I don't want to give up or forget, indeed. Sugar from beyond the island, and apparently a key is Elt's sugar, which is made of brown rock and honeycombs. Can't you just like use honey? I don't know. Also interesting that she makes Elt's sugar by alchemizing it. I wonder again, how is it like actually made? Does it also use the brown rocks in production? Is it made by, pouring out honey from the honeycomb, mixing it with some brown rock, whatever it is, maybe some dried herbs or whatever, and then you set it off for a month and it crystallizes and you grind it down and it's Elf sugar and Ryza can just speed it up by alchemizing? Or is the process of actually producing it vastly different? And there it is. This really feels like a quest, like one of the fetch quests in the game. To get materials for the to rebuild our hideout, we need planks. To get planks, we need pudding. Claudia can make pudding, but she misses elk sugar. Please alchemize some elk sugar and deliver it to Claudia. It probably is a quest within the game. Also, what would happen if this flower was trampled or something? Right? You might build like you might want to build a little fence around it or something just to not trample it by accident. And she managed to alchemize all sorts of stuff. I wonder if she alchemized whole entire fucking barrels or just like little bushels of whatever powder is in there and they poured it into barrels. I guess her cauldron is big enough to alchemize a barrel, and usually whenever she alchemizes something that needs a container, the result also has a container, so maybe the barrel was a part of it. A little tea break. And there we go. The pudding was a success. I mean, a love towards Ryza and the others. Yes, she loves Ryza very much. They're besties. This allows us to get a little better look at the structure of the building. I guess to get the best look, I would have to again play the game, but this is second best. There's some raised platform for some reason. There doesn't seem to be a second floor, actually. Just this little catwalk that seems fairly pointless. So I wonder what purpose it serves. Cauldron. Various furniture pieces. Did the Ryza alchemize this furniture? That's actually a good question. Blue slime as a pet, maybe. Yeah, the catwalk just seems to go around the place. There doesn't seem to be like any door or anything that would go into like the upper floor on like this the other segment, the other hexagon of the building. And we're done. Hideout complete. And title drop. Ryza no Atelier. I swear to prove myself to the entire village by exploring the tower beyond the mountains. We have a plot point. We finally have something to like, something tangible to look forward, because Ryza's goal of progressing as an alchemist is fairly abstract goal that somewhere in the future it's unquantifiable. Tao's goal of getting better, of reading more books, is also fairly unquantifiable. This is a quantifiable, concrete goal. Explore the tower beyond the mountains. This is what we will, at least in part, be working towards. Thank you. Talking about the flute. Ampel and Ryza might be arriving soon, but there's some disturbance. The flower closed, so I wonder if its effect wanes at night. Maybe. Should we go check it out? Probably not, honestly, like legit. You should probably be running to the island or waiting for Ampel and Lila to arrive and then going with them. You achieve literally nothing by going out there and checking things out. Like, legit, they didn't really achieve anything besides seeing that the monster exists, which is the exact same thing that Lila could achieve when she got here. Terrible monster, yellow eyes. Then it catches aggro. Its eyes turn red. It charges. It's hard to kill, hard to hit. It's made of crystals. And then its eyes turn yellow again, and it loses aggro. I wonder what's the deal with that. I wonder... Well, first thought, of course, is that it's being controlled by someone, and that someone decided, oh no, those kids are like not worth the hassle, just go back to slumber. The other thing is that maybe it just protects its territory, and it noticed that, hey, neither of them are any sort of, threat to me, so I'm going back to sleep. They're not going to be able to hurt me in any way, shape, or form, so why bother? Did it escape? It let you escape. There are no traces of it around here. There was no traces of it deep in the forest either, so it's just localized to that one spot. Also, I don't like this them in the quotation marks because it's ominous. It's like, it's like Voldemort, he whose name shall not be named, or whatever the fuck it is in English. I don't know, I've only ever read Harry Potter in Polish. Being able to encounter them and come back in one piece is a big accomplishment. So I wonder why it just completely disregarded our group. If those monsters are so dangerous and so few people come back alive, then it shouldn't be the case. If those monsters really lose aggro this easily, then they should not be this deadly, right? Which is weird. It's unnatural that there's no lore or anything about them despite there being so many ruins. So probably newcomers. They probably migrated from somewhere into here. For what reason though? I don't know. Was that monster that dangerous? Yes, but oh, I can't give you the details. Please do. Honestly, please do. You're saying that, oh yeah, it's terribly dangerous, but I can't give you the details. Just endangers our group? Honestly? First of all, because without giving any details, you, like, don't give them any concrete proof that this thing is dangerous, right? Because dangerous could be being really strong physically, but then maybe I can figure out some freeze bomb or something and we can deal with that, right? Or dangerous can be it has a poisonous breath that just insta-gives you and there's no known antidote. That could also be dangerous, right? Dangerous is a scale, and in the latter case, Ryza would not even think about getting near. Also, should they decide to deal with this monster anyway on their own, or should they encounter this monster without intending to, knowing what they're dealing with could actually save their lives. Right now, they don't know what they're dealing with. If you said that, oh, it breathes fire, they would know what to watch out for, right? Saying I can't give you the details is like the worst possible way you can go about it. Teach us how to deal with it just in case. Please do. That's actually gonna be useful if they intend to keep using this hideout. Core Crystal. It's an artifact that allows you to reuse any item synthesized through alchemy. So does it just increase the number of uses of it? Like you can charge this core crystal with healing ointment, and now this crystal itself acts like healing ointment? Or does it refill the container? What about alchemical items that do not have a container? How does the core crystal work with them? If you like alchemize a brick, can you duplicate that brick using the core crystal, or does it now become a brick spawner, or can you just use it as a brick, mortar it up, and just brick it in the wall? I don't know. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see when and how she uses it. And there it is. Episode 7, Claudia's Courage. Maybe she's gonna play a tune for her father. We'll see. Okay, that was episode 7 of Atelier Ryza. And despite being mostly just fluff about making pudding and building the hideout and whatnot, it served a very important purpose of giving us a goal, giving us an overarching story, giving us a little bit of an overarching plot. Two of them, actually. It gave us a goal of exploring the tower beyond the mountains. This is something we can look towards. And it gave us the plot point of weird monsters suddenly being in the forest where they should not have been, because it's not their territory. They don't live this far up north. It introduces some mystery, and now we're gonna have to figure it out. And now the show can focus around something particular. It can have an overarching story of some sort, which is something that was really, really needed, in my opinion. Because sure, shows that are just purely episodic, where it's just a problem of the episode or a creature of the episode or enemy of the episode or whatever, they work well until they don't. That's like their issue. Even shows that are purely and entirely monster of the week eventually introduce some sort of a plot. Be it anime, be it Power Rangers, be it a cartoon or whatever, eventually some sort of a plot appears. Some sort of an overarching plot. Even fucking Rick and Morty, that was just like episodes of silliness after episodes of silliness, eventually evolved the storyline, eventually evolved the plot. It's necessary for any piece of medium to have a coherent plot. And Ryza now seems to have it, at least for some time. Again, I don't know how long it will take them to deal with those monsters. It could be three episodes. It could be 3 seasons. It could be the plot for the entire game, which I don't think will be covered in this show. But it gives us something to look forward to, right? Next episode, when I start recording, I will actually have something to say about what I expect from this episode. I will actually have something to latch onto to start possibly predicting what's gonna happen. That's good. That was needed, and I'm glad we got it. I'm really, really glad. I'm glad they have their little hideout. I'm not sure how well it will function, though. Ryza having her alchemical cauldron at her house was convenient because, say, lady from the market had her shoe broken. Ryza can take that shoe, throw it into the cauldron, stir it around a couple of times, throw in a vial of blood, and out comes a fixed shoe, and she can carry it back to the lady to give it to her. Right, it was convenient. Now that she has the hideout on the mainland, that process would require her to sneak out of her house, take a boat, go to the mainland, go to their hideout, alchemize the shoe, go back to the shore, go back to the boat, go back to the island, go back to the lady and give her the shoe back. So it seems like a downgrade in that regard. It's an upgrade in that nobody is going to bother them, right? Like nobody's gonna, boss isn't suddenly going to approach Lent and laugh at him training, because Lent will be just training next to their hideout, and nobody else is gonna see him, so he will be free to do that. Same goes for Ryza. She would be able to alchemize whatever she wants to her heart's content. Tao will have a nice place to read his books without anybody bothering him, and so on and so forth. So that hideout plays an important role, but it really detracts from the convenience. It really takes away from the convenience of just having everything centered on the island. So interesting how it's going to look moving forward. Unless maybe Ryza is gonna alchemize herself another cauldron and have one at her house and one at the hideout, which is something that she should be able to do. I mean, cauldrons are made somehow. Or if not her, then perhaps she can ask Empel for another cauldron, or for a recipe for one, or she can order it somewhere. I don't know. But there should be a ways for her to get another one. Maybe that's how it's gonna go. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see in the next episode Claudia's courage. Yeah, right now I think that's gonna be about it. I don't think I have anything more to say on the topic. I'm looking forward where the plot line of those weird monsters out of nowhere is going to go. I wonder if there's someone behind that plot. Or is it just monsters moving in here because their usual place got flooded, or there were some forest fires or whatever that chased them further up north, and maybe Ryza can fix that somehow. I don't know. We'll see. As I said, again, we'll see. We'll see about that in the next episode, next week, or wherever I record it. I'm gonna shut up now. So that was episode 6. That's gonna be everything I have to say on the topic, I think, but maybe you guys have something more to say. If so, do that in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? No spoilers from the game, please. If you do want to talk spoilers, Discord here, also in the description. It's available for you for free. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Ryza and Atelier, but also Helk Zom 100, Nanatsu no Makengashi Haisuru, Undead Girl Murder Farce, and Madoka Magica Movie 3 Rebellion, and others coming at you in the future. I also stream sometimes, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified of my gacha playthroughs and building gunpla and stuff like that. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, for example, linked down below, where for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Madoka Magica Rebellion, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's the list of my wonderful Patreons: QB Without a Net, Fruit, Daughterus Curium M, Zay Rainer, Akomancer, Marsh, Fussel, Dr. Watt, UK Ally, and Hans Peter, and you can join them without the need to build a hideout.